Welcome, dear reader. Have you ever wondered why some minds stay calm during storms while others break under pressure? What hidden force allows certain people to stand firm even when everything feels uncertain? Today, you are about to explore a powerful and mysterious idea: mental strength. This is not just a story. It is a journey into understanding how thoughts, habits, and quiet choices shape a strong mind. As you read, you may begin to notice something surprising about your own inner power. At first, mental strength may seem like something people are born with, like a special gift that only a few possess. But what if that is not true? What if mental strength is built slowly, in silence, through small actions that most people ignore? Imagine a world where every challenge is not an obstacle, but a chance to grow stronger. That idea might sound simple, but it carries a deep secret, one that can change how you see difficulties forever. The story begins in a quiet place where challenges were not loud or visible, but deeply felt. There was no single hero, no single face, but a shared experience of struggle. Pressure appeared in many forms: doubt, fear, confusion, and hesitation. These invisible forces affected every step, making even simple tasks feel heavy. Many tried to escape these feelings, believing that avoiding discomfort would bring peace. But instead, the discomfort grew stronger, like a shadow that follows more closely when you try to run from it. At first, the common reaction was resistance. Every difficult moment was seen as a problem that needed to disappear quickly. When fear appeared, it was pushed away. When failure happened, it was hidden. When uncertainty came, it was ignored. This constant resistance created a cycle where challenges became even more powerful. The more they were avoided, the more control they seemed to have. It was like trying to hold water tightly in your hands. The harder you squeezed, the faster it slipped away. Slowly, a different understanding began to form. Instead of running from discomfort, there was a quiet shift toward observing it. Fear was no longer treated as an enemy, but as a signal. Doubt was no longer a weakness, but a question waiting for an answer. This change was small at first, almost unnoticeable, but it marked the beginning of something important: the discovery that mental strength is not about fighting everything, but about understanding it. As this idea grew, a pattern started to appear. Every time discomfort was accepted instead of avoided, it lost a little of its power. When failure was examined instead of hidden, it became a lesson. When uncertainty was faced instead of ignored, it became a path forward. These moments were not easy, but they were meaningful. They showed that strength does not come from controlling the outside world, but from responding wisely to it. Another realization followed. Mental strength was not built in big, dramatic moments. It was created through small, repeated actions: choosing to stay calm for a few extra seconds, taking a deep breath before reacting, trying again after a small failure. These simple decisions, repeated over time, formed a strong foundation. Like drops of water slowly shaping a rock, these habits quietly built resilience. There was also a deeper truth hidden beneath these actions. Mental strength required patience. It did not grow overnight. There were days of progress and days of setbacks. Some moments felt like moving forward, while others felt like falling behind. But even in those difficult times, something important was happening. Each experience, whether positive or negative, was adding to the overall strength of the mind. Gradually, the relationship with challenges changed completely. Problems were no longer seen as threats, but as opportunities to practice strength. Difficult situations became a kind of training ground. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening?" the question shifted to, "What can be learned from this?" This change in thinking opened new possibilities. It created space for growth where there was once only frustration. One of the most powerful parts of this journey was understanding control. Not everything could be controlled. Events, outcomes, and other people often remained unpredictable. But there was always control over one thing: response. This realization was like unlocking a hidden door. It showed that true strength lies not in changing everything around you, but in mastering how you react to it. As this understanding deepened, confidence began to grow. Not the loud, showy kind, but a quiet and steady confidence. It came from knowing that no matter what happened, there was an ability to face it. This confidence did not remove challenges, but it changed how they felt. Difficult moments became less overwhelming, more manageable, and even meaningful. There was also an important lesson about failure. At first, failure felt like an end, something to be avoided at all costs. But over time, it became clear that failure was actually a beginning. Each failure carried valuable information. It showed what did not work and pointed toward what could be improved. Instead of weakening the mind, failure strengthened it, if it was understood correctly. Another key discovery was the role of consistency. Motivation came and went, like changing weather. Some days felt full of energy, while others felt heavy and slow. But mental strength did not depend on motivation. It depended on consistency, showing up even when it was difficult. This steady effort created reliability, a sense that progress would continue regardless of temporary feelings. There was also a shift in how thoughts were treated. Instead of believing every negative thought, there was a pause to question them. Was the thought true? Was it helpful? This simple practice created distance between the mind and its automatic reactions. It allowed clearer thinking and better decisions. Over time, this became a powerful tool for maintaining balance. As the journey continued, something surprising happened. The same challenges that once caused stress began to feel familiar. They no longer created panic, but a sense of readiness. This did not mean they became easy, but they became manageable. It was like learning to swim. The water did not change, but the ability to move through it improved. Another layer of strength came from acceptance. Not everything could be perfect. Mistakes would happen. Uncertainty would always exist. Accepting these truths reduced unnecessary pressure. It created a more realistic and peaceful approach to life. Instead of chasing perfection, the focus shifted to progress. At this stage, mental strength was no longer a mystery. It was a clear and practical process. It involved awareness, patience, consistency, and thoughtful action. It was not about being fearless, but about moving forward despite fear. It was not about avoiding difficulty, but about growing through it. The most important realization, however, was that this strength was available to anyone. It was not limited by background, talent, or special ability. It was built through choices, small, daily choices that anyone could make. This made mental strength both powerful and accessible. In the end, the secret behind mental strength was not a single idea, but a combination of simple truths. Face discomfort instead of avoiding it. Learn from failure instead of fearing it. Focus on your response instead of trying to control everything. Stay consistent, even when motivation fades. And most importantly, be patient with the process. As you finish this story, take a moment to reflect. Mental strength is not something far away or impossible. It is already within reach, waiting to be developed. Every small step you take, every challenge you face, and every lesson you learn is part of building it. And perhaps the greatest secret of all is this: mental strength is not just about surviving difficult moments. It is about growing because of them.